I have no idea what to think of David Adelman. No idea.
I don't know. David Adelman. He got them to 7 with OKC. Quite impressive.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and I don't mean to steer the conversation off track, but look who's on Denver's roster.
No way. He made the league.
Tamar Bates,
Tamar
former Indiana University legend. GMLB family, welcome back to another episode of Good Morning, Let's Basketball. Today, we are ranking the entire Western Conference by seed as an early prediction for the 2025-2026 season. If you're interested in seeing us rank the East, you can find it last episode. But before we get into that, on my right, that is the founder and host of the whole operation. That is Vic. Vic, what's up?
It's going to be a tough ranking today. I thought the East was tough. Doing this top 15, I think it's going to be a little bit tougher.
Yeah, this is not going to be a fun one. Below me, that is the podcast Equilibrium and the viral Dunkin' Barista. That is Daniel. Daniel, what's going on?
How we doing, GMLB family? Had a long weekend of doing absolutely nothing, but ready to get back after it today. So let's hope our Western Conference turns out a little bit better than our Eastern Conference, because I saw we got some pushback on some of our takes on that.
That is true. And finally, last but not least, on the bottom of me as well, that is Big Macedonia and GMOB's chief of security from the island of relevancy. That is Big Kev. Kev, what's going on?
Might have to add 4K at the end of it because the camera's back.
4K Kev has returned to the podcast. And that was the first time I've ever done all of the intros off the top of my head. So I am finally getting them down. But I did forget one. I am your host, Mike Miles. And let's get into this pod. So before we do anything, we do have our first Season 4 Moment of Silence. The GMLB patented Moment of Silence is back. This time, we have a double Moment of Silence. The first one is going to be for Marco Bellinelli, who just recently retired. The second one is for John Wall, who officially announced his retirement today. I was talking with a friend, and I was thinking, I'm pretty sure the league retired both of them before they retired from the league themselves. Vic, when's the last time John Wall played on a team?
2022-2023 season on the Clippers.
Yeah, it's kind of weird when players have to officially retire after not being on rosters. But let's go ahead and give them the GMLB patented moment of silence, fellas. Let's give them 5 seconds. All right. Before we begin, we're going to jump right into it. But before we begin, we're going to go through our Eastern Conference that happened last week. So currently, I have it right up above me on my cork board that I bought for all of our predictions so that I can reference them throughout the season. For the Eastern Conference, this is where we fell. Number 15, the Brooklyn Nets. Number 14, the Hornets. 13, Wizards. 12, Bulls. 11, Bucks. 10, Celtics. 9, Sixers. 8, Raptors. 7, Pacers. 6, Heat. 5, Hawks. 4, Pistons. 3, Magic. 2, Knicks. And number 1 will be the Cavs for the second straight season. So, I will start us off with this because my voice is getting tired of talking here. Who do we start with in the West at number 15?
I feel like we should count down and all say for this one.
Yeah, I feel like we'd be on the same page.
Yeah.
Probably
All right,
with
let's do
this
it.
one. Honestly, yeah, go ahead. You know what? Let's do it.
All right. Yeah, that was a good idea, Vic. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, Jazz.
Jazz. We all said the same thing. Probably not a whole lot to talk about on that one. But, yeah, man, young backcourt. They got Collier. They got Ace Bailey. Maybe they're moving in the right direction. I see a Lowry Markkinen trade finally happening this season at some point. Complete blow up. There's just really not a whole lot to add right here with the Utah Jazz. But I did want to say this before we kind of roll into this. We obviously had our discrepancies last week ranking the East, which is fine. And we all said, oh, just wait till next week when we rank the West. It's going to get ugly. I felt like I had an easier time ranking the West. I felt like I wasn't second-guessing myself as much when I was creating my list. It didn't look like you guys did either, starting with number 15. So,
Yeah, so far we're on the same page. We'll see how long that lasts. Go ahead, Vic.
I was just saying, I felt like the Jazz were just a clear number 15 just because they've been past couple of seasons they've been tanking, and this season they got a bunch of young talent, and I do think Lauri Markkinen, like Kevin said, will end up trading. Maybe the Warriors rumors will start hyping up again like they do every season. I'm excited to see Ace Bailey, what he can do for the Jazz. Isaiah Collier, where he's going to be in his second year. And then they also got Walter Clayton Jr. A lot of people were high on him with the Gators and March Madness. So they do definitely got potential with the backcourt, but it's just like who is going to be that starting point guard for them to run their offense is a big question. And I think that's going to, over the course of the season, that we're going to find that out. But they're definitely a couple years away from being something.
long time away from being something.
Yeah, that's what I should have said that.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Long time.
Yeah.
they've been a couple years away for a couple years now.
Yeah.
Wondering when they're actually going to get to the destination there.
They keep renewing their membership to Trash City.
Daniel, any opposition at Jazz at 15?
I don't have any opposition. I will say I didn't elaborate when you guys all said the same team at the same time, because there were some other teams in the West that I think are kind of bottom of the barrel. But looking more at this depth chart, man, this team's bad. Yeah, I mean, Jazz going into this next season, not very many expectations to live up to.
Yeah, honestly, depending on your guys' brains here, I might lose you at 14. But I think
Okay.
I think this team could almost be 15.
Yeah.
I went with Sacramento at 14. This team's
they're-
pretty bad.
They're right there. I'm not gonna. I don't think it's as crazy as Bucks at 11, like last week. But they're there. But I don't see how they could be worse than the Pelicans. Truthfully.
So I had Pelicans interchangeable at 13 and 12. So I feel like 14 to 12 on my list are just completely interchangeable. But the Pelicans, like, they got Poole, they got Zion. Will he play and be healthy? Probably not. But I felt like just as a complete team, man, just this Kings team, truthfully, it doesn't have enough basketballs to go around. You have Levine and DeRozan, which worked terrifically in Chicago, right? Just clogging up a bunch of space. You have Sabonis there, too. Do they have a point guard now? No, they have Schroeder, right?
Keon Ellis.
Yeah, but they did get Schroeder. Schroeder will probably be their starting point guard, I would think. Keon Ellis, I don't
I'd
think
hope.
is a point guard, but
He's
they
not.
might try something. I don't know.
They had him in at point a couple times last year, I think, but like that's just not his true position. It's not his game. Like you're not getting the best out of him. He's a really good player, and he'd be a really good player on any team, but like this dude on a contender would be insane. But he's definitely not a point guard. Just absolute zero direction. I see them trading either Levine or DeRozan at some point during the season. Well, before the All-Star break, obviously, and kind of just go into a different direction because there just simply isn't one right now. And I feel like all these teams improved, even not the Pelicans, but a lot of these teams improved and just look way better than the Kings.
Yeah, the thing is the Kings, they finished 9th last year, right? And they have pretty much the same roster. I don't know if I'm willing to say they drop to the second worst team in the West. I mean, just looking, I know roster isn't everything. I always preface this with this, but it is one of the most important. Like, can your team compete aspects? Because if you don't have a roster to compete, it doesn't really matter what you do, because you don't have any talent. And I'm looking at the Pelicans roster, and even their best players are either entering the season hurt or are constantly hurt. That being Zion, obviously. DeJounte Murray is entering the season hurt. So, of course, that's going to cost a couple games at least. Herb Jones and Trey Murphy both suffered injuries last season. Not saying that's the end-all, be-all. But, like, outside of that core, the rest of this team is trash, bro. I ain't gonna lie. The rest of this team is just not built to compete. Jane Springer, Derek Queen, Micah Peavy, Eve Missy, Bryce McGowens, Jeremiah Fears, Hunter Dickinson, Jose Alvarado, Sadiq Bey, Trey Alexander. That's the rest of their roster. Did I say a guy who is going to contribute on a competitive team yet?
Ooh. Brother, you must not know who Derek Queen is. He's a rookie. He's coming out of Maryland, and he was a pretty hyped up prospect. He's really young, but then again, a rookie is only going to be so good, and a rookie can only be so good on a team like the Pelicans. 100% agree there. But like you said, the boy Dickinson, he's a baller, right? He'll be good in the NBA. I don't think so, but
it's like repeating last week with who was it? Drew Timme on the Nets. It's the same thing.
Hey, we know that guy. But so I kind of put them above the Kings, kind of just assuming full health, with obviously the exception of knowing which players aren't going to start the season. And I feel like this team can just play team ball a lot better than Sacramento will be able to. Like I said, firing Mike Brown, I'm not even quite sure who their coach is right now, if I'm being honest.
It's still Doug Christie.
It's okay. Ugh. Not that the Pelicans are in a insanely better situation, but honestly, either of these teams can be the 14th or 13th seed, possibly even 15th in the West. So personally, I won't lose sleep if we bump them up one more and put the Pelicans at 14.
Yeah. I don't think I'm willing to give the Kings 14 just because even though it's not going to work and it clearly hasn't worked, there's still so much more talent on that roster.
I agree. I wasn't gonna put the Kings 14th, and with the Pelicans though, I wanted to say something quickly because you guys were talking about Derek Queen and stuff. They also have Kevon Looney and Yves Missy that they drafted last year, so I wonder what their center rotation is going to look like because I don't know. I can't remember Kevon Looney's contract off the top of my head, but I think they paid them a pretty good amount. So I feel like they are going to play him some games and probably just have Derek Queen there as just, learning under some veteran guys and with that being Kevon Looney.
Which is pretty crazy because Kevon Looney moves like a corpse compared to his high school mixtape. It's a completely different player. I know he had some back and he had an insane amount of injuries throughout his career, but dude's a champion, couple-time champion. But yeah, the center rotation obviously isn't the best, but they're pretty big on Yves Missy, and so are we. He gets brought up a lot on our podcast for whatever reason. He's just one of our mascots.
True, that is true. Daniel, what's the vote?
I don't know. I think I'm gonna get outvoted here, because to me, I actually like both of the teams that you guys mentioned over the Blazers, honestly. Personally, I think that the roster construction of both the Pelicans and the Kings has a better chance of going well than a Blazers team without Damian Lillard. And then, I don't really have much to say about this, but yeah, obviously alone, we've kind of talked a little bit on this podcast about Tumani Kamara, Danny Advia. Those guys are good independently, but I don't know if this roster does it for me. I kind of see them falling to bottom of the barrel too. But I see your guys' argument as well.
So I had Portland at 13. And I actually feel like they have a pretty like okay squad. They're just really young and they're not there yet. So that's kind of why I like them at 13. I think they'll have a decent season, but as far as age and experience, they're not there yet. And I still did have New Orleans above them, but for them, like 12 and 13 are pretty interchangeable for me.
Here's the question: Do we think the Kings are better, or I guess not better, but will finish higher than the Blazers?
No.
I mean, I think so. So, but like, I think I'm going to get outvoted here.
Will the Kings finish higher than the Blazers? Dude, I don't think so. I'm not sure if they do.
The Blazers are going to be good defensively.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. That's tricky between those two.
Because I'm trying to think, like, the Kings, like, did finish ninth last year. And I get, like, that's not the whole story. But it is, like, kind of a big part. You know, they were only above Dallas because of injuries. Phoenix was an absolute dumpster fire. San Antonio had Wemby hurt. So, like, those teams, I think, surpassed Sacramento. But I'm still sitting on Portland. I don't know. They did just lose Anthony Simons, too. And that's, like, one of their main consistent scoring options on offense. Plus, Dame is obviously going to come into the season hurt if he even returns next season. So it's like, yeah, they're good defensively, but I'm kind of with Kev in saying, like, they're poised to have a great team in a couple years, but I just don't think it's their time yet.
I feel like I would rather have. I think they would be higher than the Kings. I just think they have a lot more potential with that young core outperforming the Kings. Like, the Kings are a team that it's like, what the hell are we doing? The GM doesn't even know what they want to do. Or what direction that they are going in. There's like a bunch of different timelines on the Kings. I just don't see them finishing higher than the Trailblazers. The Trailblazers at least have somewhat of a direction, I feel like. And last season, over the last 41 games, they had the league's third-ranked defense. And I think with Denny, he's been doing good the past couple of seasons. I think he's going to keep improving. Tumani Kamara was an all defensive team last year. You bring in Drew Holiday. I think they're going to be really good defensively, and I just can't put them below the Kings.
Yeah,
It's like they're two completely opposite rosters.
Yeah,
with offense and defense. But go ahead, Kev. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was pretty much just going to say, like, there was a lot of teams that improved, and I feel like I feel like a lot of those teams did improve, and some of these players on here, I feel like are just going to make bigger jumps as opposed to, like, anyone on the Kings. I don't really see someone on the Kings making a huge jump for the next season, or kind of like you said with their direction to piggyback pretty hard off of Vic. There's just not a whole lot of room for improvement for what they have. They're kind of just stuck. Meanwhile, like, everyone else got better, and they're kind of like over here in the stars somewhere.
But I feel like I'm not going to dwell on this very long, I promise. But I feel like you guys are looking at, like, yeah, you know, they have a direction, like they have a future, and the Kings are stuck, which is true. But that doesn't necessarily mean the Blazers are better yet, just because they have a direction. The Kings roster is still very talented, like Keon, Levine, DeMar, Keegan Murray, Sabonis. Now you have Jake LaRavia on the roster. Like, you got some guys here. Why is Jonas Valanciunas on the roster? Is that just because he hasn't been?
He's not there.
Yeah, why is he on ESPN's roster at center? Is that just because the contract hasn't been signed yet? I assume that's why.
No, he said he made his.
He said he was going to play. Yeah, he said he was going to play for Denver, so that's probably just not updated.
Yeah, he's
But
probably
honestly,
not officially traded yet.
Yeah, I honestly like my final verdict with this. Just I don't really see just a whole lot of improvements being made to that team. I do see them blowing it up to halfway through the season, which I think they might start better than Portland and some of these other teams. But towards the end of the season, when guys are a little bit more experienced, I could see them having a fall off as these other bottom teams kind of pick it up a little bit throughout the season. So starting off, Sacramento probably will be higher ranked than some of these guys. Trades, injuries, I feel like it's kind of what's going to play into a part with me and having them ranked a little bit lower.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of confused. Did we agree on Pelicans at 14th, or did we not agree on anybody?
Jazz 15, Pelicans 14. We're currently on 13. Trying to decide between the Blazers and Kings.
I think it's Kings.
Are you guys looking at the roster though? Like this team is.
Dude, the
Blazers just
were
lost
playing good last year. Halfway,
but they just lost their lead offensive player too. Like they didn't replace him. Anthony Simons is gone now. And who do they have instead? Drew Holiday? I mean, they're starting Shaedon Sharp.
It's such a hard question too, because like you said, Miles, it's like, what do you value more, experience and offense, or young and like defensively sound? And honestly, I don't know. Kevin's right though too, because long term, if Dame comes back later in the season and this team has time to like get better, I could see them outlasting the Kings. But it's just a matter of opinion, I guess.
Dame isn't coming back. I'm gonna be honest. That he's not coming back. That injury is gonna sideline him, especially with him being that old too. He's not gonna recover that fast.
I think he's already ruled out for next season as well. I think him and Tyrese were like the only players that sustained like big injuries in the playoffs that have been ruled out. Tatum's the only one that hasn't been ruled out yet. But like on top of that, like this team's getting older. DeMar's entering the twilight years of his career. Levine's on the wrong end of aging, and he's kind of just been stuck to the player that he has been to the past 4 years. Just for the sake of player improvement from there, I don't know. I don't really see them getting near the play-in. So I kind of just like them higher. I feel like over the course of the season, the Blazers will kind of pick it up towards the end when it matters. Early on, yeah, the Kings will be better.
I had someone lower than both of these teams, and I don't know if you guys would agree. But what about the Suns?
I had the Suns at 11.
Because just looking at the Suns,
it's a dumpster fire over there too.
Yeah, it's really like Mike Budenholzer is out. They have a new head coach coming in. We haven't seen Jalen Green and Devin Booker play together. We don't know what that's going to look like. They don't have a true point guard. One of their biggest scoring weapons left, Kevin Durant. I mean, we know what Devin Booker can do, but he's been really taking more of a relaxed approach on, I feel like, scoring the ball and taking a little bit more of that playmaking role and just like kind of trying to fit in with the team.
Yeah, that's because he has kind of transitioned to be like a playmaking type point guard, which I feel like I don't really necessarily agree with. I feel like he's at his best when he's playing the two and he has a playmaker playing the one instead of him. That's not Tyus Jones. But like I said, they still have him. They still have Dylan Brooks. I think Jalen Green is going to have a pretty solid season this year. They also have Beal too, who I'm not massive on. And I feel like it'd be kind of disrespectful to have Phoenix at 13. I feel like that's incredibly low.
I mean, didn't they finish 12 last season? With Kevin Durant.
But
they finished 11.
But that's because of KD, though. Okay. Sorry.
Well, I don't know if it was because of KD, but that whole team was Budenholzer lost that team in November. They had him around for way, way too long. It was just a dumpster fire, yeah, the team itself, but also just like the coaching staff was quite horrible. Like, didn't he tell Devin Booker to just like, hey, tone it down a little bit? I'm the coach. Something along those lines. Basically what he said. But, yeah, I kind of like Phoenix over here at 11. But I think we're still I think we're still hung up on 13 a little bit, and we need to get to the
Fellas.
bottom of this.
Fellas, all right, I'm making my final push here. Why? How are the Kings worse than Portland? They got better.
By
Who?
adding
Portland
Dennis
didn't.
Schroeder.
Portland didn't get better. Well, also Jake. They have Jake LaRavia for another season now. We only got to see him for half a season. I'm just thinking. Well, hold on. Is Jake LaRavia on the Lakers now?
Yeah, he's on
What
the
is-
Lakers.
What is wrong with this app I'm looking at? It's ESPN I'm using. Why? Why is it doing this to me? But
Stays on
I'm just thinking.
ESPNU.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Okay, so yeah, because I was.
They
thinking
also
Jake
added Trey Lyles.
Trey
Or
Lyles.
wait,
has been there.
Trey Lyles is I'm sorry, he's still a free agent. They added Dennis Schroeder, and Jonas Valanciunas and Drake LaRavia left.
I'm just thinking, how did the Blazers get better when their offensive cog left, Dame's hurt, and Drew Holiday is coming off his worst season in recent history? How do they get better? I don't understand why we think they're like gonna break out this season. It's just not their year.
We didn't say breakout. We have them at 13 seed. So relax there. Take a step back. I just feel like looking at last season, I'm just anticipating a lot of these Blazers guys to make a pretty decent jump. Hopefully, Shaedon Sharpe and Scoot Henderson can kind of get a hold of themselves. And like Vic said, Denny Avdija is playing really good. Klingon looked really good towards the end of last season. There's just a lot more players on Blazers I'm anticipating to make a jump, as if the Sacramento, they're going to be the same exact team as last year. And being the same exact team, as everyone else is improving and ideally should make that jump, you're going to decrease. They're on the wrong end of the aging stick here.
All right. Well, I mean, either way, I think I'm outvoted.
Well,
Um,
what do you? No, I mean, I'm on your side. I think we're still split.
bro, why didn't you come to my defense this whole time?
What do you? I know, because you handle yourself well in battle, but no, obviously, like head to head, these rosters are, to me, one is clearly better than the other, and obviously, Levine and DeRozan didn't play super well together in Chicago, but at the same time, like they did sometimes, and now you're pairing it with Keegan Murray, Sabonis, Malik Monk, if that's what you're into. But, I think this team has the veteran leadership and the skill level and the offensive prowess to pull off a better, higher seeded ranking than the Blazers. Sorry. Mind blanked for a second.
I don't see why Keon Ellis and Keegan Murray can't also make a jump that Denny Advia or Tumani Kamara can make. Those are still young guys, roughly the same age.
They can make a jump, and they definitely will, but you have Levine and DeRozan there, and they're going to take up a lot of volume. Whether people want them to or the coaches want them to or not. These are the type of guys that, the ball is going to be in their hands for a majority of the time. Which is unfortunate because it's a 36-year-old DeRozan. It's not a 32-year-old DeRozan. If that was the case, then hell yeah, this team's better. But Levine and DeRozan, they're going to need to hoop if they want to get traded and get their trade value up a little bit if that's what the Kings are looking to do. And I just see them being way too ball dominant and kind of hindering development for Keon Ellis and Keegan Murray as well. Keegan Murray, to me, always played a little passive watching him out there. I feel like he's not as aggressive as he should be. And then Keon Ellis, he's a 3-and-D player. He's definitely not going to be someone that's going to, take over. Not that Portland has that guy that's oh, this is him. This is, easily our guy. But I just like their squad slightly better than this UNC team.
I was going to say, too, I guess I just like to think that Sacramento has more of a direction than the Trailblazers. The Trailblazers just lost Anthony Simons. They don't have Lillard going into next season entirely, according to us. And I just think when you're that team, you're probably not competing for a championship. Obviously, you're trying to win, but like what's the metric of the ceiling for you versus like the Kings, where your roster is relatively completely healthy. You have the veteran guys and the mix of young guys that you want. I think they're kind of like, oh, we're gonna make a big push. Now, what they'll end up doing is probably hitting 9 or 10, maybe, but I still think they'll have a better chance of getting higher in the seedings than Blazers.
Yeah, saying Sacramento has a better direction and future than Portland is absurd on many, many levels.
But like, is it really? Is it really though? Like, they just signed
Yes.
Damian Lillard on an Achilles tear and traded away their best offensive option. Like, what is the direction? I think you guys are just like overrating what the Blazers are.
I think you guys are overrating what the Kings are, dude.
Yeah.
This team is not good.
I think I'm just
Dude,
saying the Kings are the same, but you guys are acting like the Blazers are like making this massive jump.
I'm not.
Dude,
I
they
have them at
were
13th.
really
I don't have them
good
at
the
6th.
second half of the season. But I mean,
But
the
it's not
Kings,
the same
we
team.
the Kings
don't
we've
have
seen
eight.
that
They don't
the
have
Kings,
any of the players.
they got Yang Hansen, they got Klingon.
That's
I
a
mean,
rookie and a second-year guy.
Yang Hansen's legit. But
Bro, come on.
But dude, the Kings, we've just watched this disaster year after year. I mean, we've seen it with the freaking Bulls. Now we have to watch it in Sacramento, and nobody wants to watch this movie anymore. I'm sorry, I want to turn this channel off.
It
just
might
like
be
an-
Bulls bitterness. It might
just
just
like-
be a little Bulls bitterness.
That's kind of what
No,
I'm
it's-
feeling here.
No, it is definitely
It's like,
not.
I'm not
Like,
saying
dude,
we're not saying the Kings are good, but I'm saying they're still better than the current Portland Trail Blazers. That's all I'm saying.
right.
Like the Blazers
We're not,
aren't better than them.
we're not arguing that Portland's good either. For Christ's sake, we're arguing about the 13th seed here. No one's making a jump. No one's saying that they're going to break out. But an offense with Sabonis, DeRozan, and Levine for an entire season is going to make me want to bite a chalkboard. As opposed to this younger team who's a little bit more faster and who's going to get the hang of it and improve as the season goes on. They're going to finish a lot stronger. They're going to have a stronger second half to the season than Sacramento is, when I think they're going to make a trade, and it's all going to go downhill from there.
Okay. Well, we're split, so we'll flip a coin.
Okay.
Someone asked
think
Siri to
that's-
flip a coin. I don't have one near me.
Okay.
I
I got it.
Hey Alexa,
I'll,
2 out of 3 or just one?
Just one. Just one. We'll flip a coin
What-
on it.
Who's heads, who's tails?
tails
You
never
guys-
fails.
Okay. Flip a coin. Here it goes. Heads.
Heads. It says heads.
So we have
Blazers
debating?
at 13.
Dude, we
Blazers
needed
at
a
13.
celebrity guest.
Unless you want Suns there.
no,
I
I
could see
don't.
Suns. Okay,
I-
Blazers 13. So now we're between Suns and Kings for 12 and 11. I believe,
The
unless someone has anything else.
I think the Kings got to go 12 here.
Yeah, no complaint from me here, other than I actually think the Suns should be a little bit higher, but that's all I'll say for now. So Kings at 12 is fine with me.
Victor, what's your vote before I try to make a case for why the Kings are better than the Suns?
Wait, I'm sorry, I was writing down the list. So who said what?
Jazz 15, 14
No.
Pelicans, 13 Blazers. Kevin and Daniel both said the next should be the Kings. I have the Suns going there.
I feel like it has to be the Kings just because we just argued all that.
Dude,
It has to be the Kings.
I'm simply outvoted. I will not try to build a case when it's 3-1. Jazz, Pelicans, Blazers, Kings. Number 11. Are we going
This is where-
Suns?
this is where I had them on my list.
Okay.
I don't know where you guys had at 11.
Let me take a peek here.
I had the Blazers here.
That is insane. They just said their big move was Damian Lillard, who tore his Achilles, and he's 35.
They have Drew Holiday.
Off his worst season, who's also like 35.
Dude, they're
I
gonna
don't
be good.
understand how they're gonna be so good. I
I'm
get
not,
they'll be
dude.
solid.
11th is not that great, but I mean,
Miles,
They missed
11
the-
seed is not good. Why do you keep saying that? Like,
It's just like relative to what we have so far. It's the best team we have so far.
And I will say too, in defense of Miles, and kind of this whole like argument, I will say last year we remember how razor thin 1 through like 8 seeds were, and 9, 10, 11 were not that far behind. So like these things kind of do matter because all these teams are very close to each other now.
Warriors.
I like
just
Grizzlies.
that's who you had at 11.
I don't think it's actually that brash, but no, I was just kidding. I was just kidding.
I don't think it's that brash either, but I don't know. 11. I
crazy?
like Phoenix here.
oh yeah. Sorry, I
crazy
thought we already had.
this- Sorry, I don't mean to keep cutting you guys off. I promise. Go ahead, Victor.
No, I thought we already had the Suns here, but you can go ahead.
Is it where do you guys have the Grizzlies at? Because this is Grizzlies territory. Okay. Okay, I
had 'em
could
at
I could
10th.
roll with that. Yeah, I could roll
That's-
with that.
That's what I was gonna say as well.
Now they might start the season like a 2 seed, but the fall off they had last year was just atrocious.
Dude.
Yeah.
And
Jaws
got rid of Bane.
inevitably gonna get hurt too, at some
Yeah.
point.
And Triple J might average 4 boards. They got KCP who forgot how to shoot.
Yeah,
It's
the
not looking
worst
good, bro.
version of KCP.
It's the singular worst version of KCP. If they had like Denver KCP on this team like 2-3 years ago, this team would have been wild. It would have been a crazy team. But yeah,
So you guys do like this Memphis squad more than Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks. I mean, I guess it's not it's not the Nets with KD, Harden, and Kyrie, but it's to me, I'm kind of excited to see how this team turns out. I like them more than I like the Grizzlies.
I kind of am with you. I figured I would be outvoted, but looking at this team, are we really sure that the Suns can't be better than them?
I just don't know who's going to start for the Suns. It seems like they have so many shooting guards and small forwards. I don't know why off the top of my head. That's like all they have.
Now, I'm not a GM, but my assumption would be Booker at the 1 this year again, Green at the 2, Brooks at the 3, or Grayson Allen at the 3 maybe, Brooks at the 4, and then Mark Williams or Richard at the 5. But I would think it would be Mark Williams.
Yeah, they
That's
just
what-
traded for him.
That's what ESPN
Probably.
has projected too.
I really don't like Devin Booker playing the 1. That's not him. And it's like, if he's playing the 1, are we having Jalen Green being the shot taker here? Being the one that we're creating for? Like, why is Devin Booker having to create for Jalen Green? That's ridiculous to me. It's not going to work. It hasn't worked. Every year Devin Booker primarily has been the 1. It's just not been good. He's best when he's at the 2 and he has a playmaker 1 at his side. Like when they went to the finals with CP.
Yeah. My thing is the Grizzlies are also starting Santi Aldama at the 3 this year. Not saying that's
So they're
a
going-
bad idea.
That's your boy.
He's
So
my
they're going-
boy, but not at the 3, bro.
Was it like
7-footer.
last year in the playoffs when they had Aldama at the 3, Triple J at the 4, and Edie at the 5?
Yeah, it was. I remember this.
Dude, that's a big lineup. That is a really big lineup. But like, yeah, I kind of like that better than Phoenix.
They're not going to start with that.
They did lose Bane though.
Their lineup's probably going to be Ja, KCP, Jalen Wells, Triple J, and Zach Edey.
Jalen Wells had a pretty nasty injury though as he started in the year.
Oh, I forgot about that as well.
Wait, what injury? Did I miss something? What did he do?
I can't
Didn't
remember
he have,
what
like-
it was.
In ACL, he had a lower leg injury, I believe.
Oh, I thought you guys were talking about when KJ Simpson like took him out of the air. I was like, fellas, he was good after that. Yeah, he might have. He's not on the depth chart, which means that's probably what it means.
Oh no, it was I tweaked. He had a right wrist fracture. right before the playoffs started.
Yeah. That was
So, yeah,
that
he'll
was
start the
from
season.
that fall. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I just have no idea what the Suns lineup's gonna look like. And even like I'm playing some scenarios in my head, and I just don't like any of them.
The thing is like we know what Memphis's game is going to look like though. So it's like I don't think it's a bad idea to take the chance on the Suns who like have got I mean they've got those are two love or hate Jalen Green. Those are two improvements. Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing with the Grizzlies is like, okay, we did talk about their fall off a little bit because I did have a stat on that. They were tied for second in the West until the last 14 games when they fired Taylor Jenkins, and then they fell all the way to eighth after that. But I just feel like the way they started the season last year and everything, I just can't picture them being worse than the Suns. And I feel like having this off season together and getting with their new coach and everything and getting adjusted to everything, and I think it's going to be a new season for them. And I feel like they're a lot deeper of a team than the Phoenix Suns. I kind of like their roster a little bit better.
I think
Honestly, like me having Memphis above Phoenix, it's just not really saying much. These teams will probably be within 2 to 3 games of each other. Like, it could really go either way between these two teams.
Okay. I'll recap the list then. So, outside of the play-in, currently we have number 15 Jazz, 14 Pelicans, 13 Blazers, 12 Kings, 11 Suns. Right inside the beginning of the play-in, we have number 10, the Memphis Grizzlies. So who is 9, fellas? Who is 9?
I think it's the Spurs.
Really? That low, huh?
I feel like that's not that low for them. I get there's a lot of hype around like this team and what they can do next season with Wembanyama and them getting De'Aaron Fox, but we really haven't seen that much with Fox yet and Wemby play together. I think it was only 4 or 5 games. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I just don't think they're there yet for them to get into the higher level seeds. I think there's a lot better teams that are in better positions than the Spurs right now. I think they have a lot of room to grow and develop a lot of these players before they can get higher. But I think they're on the right path for sure.
So I think right now we're getting into the scary part because the same thing's probably going to happen this year as last year, where seeds 2 through 9 are within 4 games of each other. That'd be absolutely insane if that happens again, but I could just see it happening again. And at my 9 spot, I had the Lakers. Losing DFS is a lot bigger than people are making it seem to be. On top of that, they did quite literally nothing this offseason. They were the worst 3 seed ever. It was embarrassing. It was a joke how the first round of the playoffs looked. I don't care how skinny Luka got. He's still dropping 80 this year, though. Even though he's slimmer, he still can't play defense because he's never been able to play defense, even when he was skinny in the league. He just got hurt the other day, too, playing for FIBA. He has a right knee contusion. He'll be fine, but, like, still, can he hold up during the season? But, like, seeds 9 through 4 here could really be within 3 to 4 games of each other again. So I guess that's kind of where it gets tough for me. But, yeah, no improvement, no big man. DFS is a pretty big loss. And that's why I have him at 9.
They got Aiden.
Yeah, they got Aiden.
That does nothing for me.
Well, you said they had no big man.
So soft.
They have Maxi Kleber
He's not
still.
a big man. He doesn't play like a big man.
Marcus Smart. Not doing anything for you?
Oh, yeah.
He hasn't done anything for me in 4 years.
The
I don't
media
know. I feel
wanted
like
that
that's-
move. Go ahead.
I feel like that's way too low for the Lakers, in my opinion. I wouldn't. There's no way I would put them below the Spurs.
LeBron's 41.
Still,
think
I mean,
will be
he's still.
42 as well.
he's still able to put up the numbers that he puts up at this age. I mean, he's declining a little bit, but dude, I mean, it's still impressive nonetheless.
I mean, yeah,
And then
but
you give
This team
him
made no
and Luka
improvement.
the whole off season, and then with that team, and you're giving Luka guys that he actually wants to play with. So with Marcus Smart, you bring in DeAndre Ayton, which they have that lob threat now that they were looking for. They were looking for a center the whole time. They finally brought in a center for Luka. So I mean, I think there's potential there. They finished as a 3rd seed. Right.
is Aiton
I know
is
that-
Aiton a lob threat or is he just big?
No, he's a lob
Hey, man.
threat. He's a lob threat.
Yeah.
I think he's just more than a lob threat. But if you really
Yeah.
wanted to make him just a lob threat, he's a lob threat.
He's got a good midi too.
He just plays so incredibly soft, and I could just see the lights in LA being too big for him. If they were too big for Gabe Vincent and some of these other guys, what do you think is going to happen to Ayton, who pouts when he gets yelled at? Now he's playing with LeBron and Luka. Get the hell out of here. This team's 9th.
My thing is like
Don't be
JJ
stupid,
Redick.
guys.
JJ Redick is too good of a coach to finish that low, in my opinion. Yeah. That's how serious
you.
I got. Thank you. Great podcasting. Sneezing mid-pod. Oh.
I don't know.
So
like
who-
I said, dude, these 9-3 seeds could just be so incredibly close to each other.
Yeah. So we got Lakers, Spurs. Who do you guys have?
It breaks my heart to say I could see Warriors here, I guess. I'm not very hot on them this season, to be completely honest. But and it goes against what I had been saying a couple weeks ago about the Spurs being a lot higher. I was a lot higher on them a couple weeks ago. But when you have to rank them, I think it's a little bit harder to reason some of the stuff that I was coming up with. But I think I like Spurs more.
I'm also going Spurs here.
I had Spurs at 8 on my list. Like I said, I think they can be solid, but we don't really know yet. I mean, we don't really know what Fox and Wemby is going to look like. Got Dylan Harper. They got a lot of guards. I feel like the youth, they can get a couple games on the Lakers. They could be interchangeable, though.
Man, you do make a good point with Lakers, but I think a full season of Luka Doncic is just that big of a difference maker. Like, I hate to play the it's Luka Doncic and LeBron card, but like it's a real card. It's a real card
is.
to play. So I'm going Spurs at 9.
Can't wait till the Lakers fall out of the top 10. Because the Lakers hit a point every year where they just suck. And things just don't look good for like a couple weeks of the season.
This is also a
And I could see
LeBron
this-
team where everyone gets traded at the deadline too. So that could happen again.
Exactly. I guarantee you they get sick of Ayton by the trade deadline and he's gone.
If he isn't
I don't know,
already
they-
sitting.
There was a lot of good news or like good hype around him coming out from the Blazers camp when he was leaving for like an exit interview or whatever. I talked about it a couple podcasts ago. So I don't know. Maybe he's a changed person.
Well, yeah, they're not going to talk bad about him. They're trying to trade him.
Touche.
Sales 101.
Both good points. Both good points. All right, Spurs at 9. So now who's at 8? This is hard, dude. This is getting hard. This is hard.
I don't
I
think.
had Warriors.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I was just gonna say I don't think, because I know Kevin probably still wants Lakers pretty low in the rankings. I don't know if I could give them that, or if I could put them here even this low. So yeah, I'm gonna say Warriors.
I'm actually in full agreement of Warriors. I have no problem with that pick. Just because Now, Curry is Curry. I'm not going to say age is going to affect him, but he is a year older. Jimmy Butler, they were really good with Jimmy Butler. Okay, we know that. Draymond is Draymond. It's just the rest of this roster. It's everyone outside of those guys. Are we still relying on Moses Moody? Are we still relying on Pods? Quentin Post and Trace Jackson Davis. Are we still relying on these guys to be guys? Jonathan Kuminga. Are we still relying on him? Gary Payton Jr. It's like, are these guys enough? In this West, I don't think so. I don't think so.
That's a very fair point. I'm glad you brought that up. We got to say the same thing outside for the Lakers, though. Outside of LeBron and Luka, come on, y'all. Don't let the bright gold, ugly uniforms and Luka Doncic fill your brains. This team's not good.
Luka and LeBron are still better than Curry and Butler.
That doesn't do anything for me. I was talking about the outside players, outside of those top two, who has a better lineup.
You said do the same thing looking at the outside players for the Lakers. So I said, okay, both of their outside of their stars are trash, but LeBron and Luka are still better than Curry and Butler.
What about the Clippers?
You still didn't analyze the outside players. Like you talked about Pods, Kuminga, and all these players, but you didn't mention anyone on the Lakers.
Yeah, I'm saying they're both not good. They're both
I feel like
not
the Warriors
good.
probably have it slightly better. And that team advanced in the playoffs.
Yeah, but Austin Reeves still is there. Like, you still have your third guy with Austin Reeves. Now you have DeAndre Ayton. Like, their starting lineup is clearly better. Yeah, DFS was a huge loss, but
Jackson Hayes, Marcus Smart coming off the bench.
I wish you didn't say that. That actually hurt
Smart.
my case more than helped it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that didn't do anything.
I was just
And Hayes is good for 2 dunks a game, and then you don't see him again.
I
mean,
yeah, go ahead.
We could always go back to that like conversation of like where did these teams rank last year and how much have they changed? And I still feel like the Lakers are better off. But what about am I crazy for thinking the Clippers could go somewhere around here?
Yeah.
I'm not very hot on this team.
Yeah, well, you had them missing the playoffs completely, which means 12 and below. So,
Well, hold on.
Yeah,
If they're in the
there's-
play-in, and lose both games, that square counts.
does it? Daniel, what did you mean when you said that? And don't say what Miles said as a bailout. Say what you meant.
When I said that the Clippers would miss the playoffs completely,
You
I
said
meant
entirely
that
miss the
I
playoffs.
meant that they would fall outside of the play-in. Yeah.
Oh, I tried to throw you a line, man.
Hey.
Yeah, I wasn't letting that happen. I was not letting that happen.
But you know what? That was before the Beal trade.
Beal is on the Clippers, by the way, fellas. He's not on the Suns, in case we forgot.
I didn't forget.
Did I say he was on the Suns earlier?
Yes.
Wow, I did not know that. I knew he was on the Clippers, but I didn't know I mentioned his name on the Phoenix. There were so many moves that happened.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Oh,
I have the Clippers a lot higher than that.
No,
Yeah,
I don't like this Clippers team.
I think I'm putting Warriors here, just for not because they're bad, but because they just don't have a cast that can keep up with the rest of these guys.
If we go Warriors 8, Lakers got to go 7.
We're getting to like Lakers territory. I think 6 or 7 is Lakers territory.
I'm not.
Bro. If you have the Lakers being better than the T-Wolves this upcoming season, I'm hanging up. Y'all need to chill, bro. You guys are crazy. Oh my God.
Dude, it's Luka Doncic.
I don't care.
we've seen what he's done in
care.
the past.
We've already
That
seen
was
him
the
play.
past, bro. Like, I don't care about that stuff. We're talking this year, this
And
season. I
LeBron.
don't care about none of that.
And
You have
Austin
41-year-old LeBron. You have
Bro, you can't-
41-year-old LeBron.
You can't say that. You can't say that.
Yes, you can. You can absolutely say that.
You could say
I don't
it.
care.
His age is an objective age, but his age obviously does not imply how he plays.
Right. But, like, we've seen him slow down the past couple of years. With age, obviously that happens. It's another year. The guy's a year older. He could drop off a little bit more than we think. And God forbid a sniper just blows through my window of a bronsexual shooting me in the head saying that. But, like, you're only good for so long. I'm not saying LeBron's going to fall off this year. But, like, it's a possibility he takes a bigger decline than we think. And then if he does, this team is beyond screwed. What happens when Luka goes down with an injury? He always does.
But they have Dalton Connect.
Jake LaRavia.
It's starting to kick in for you guys. That's why you're saying this BS. It's starting to click a little bit more.
Who did everyone have at 7?
I had the Warriors at 7.
I had the
I'm
Timberwolves.
cool. The Timberwolves, I do think, are going to drop this year. I do think that. But I do think the Lakers will be worse still.
So at this point, I think y'all have them at the 1 seed.
I'm cool with the Lakers at 7. Top of the play-in. I think that's fair.
So you're saying Warriors 8, Lakers 7?
Yeah. I thought our consensus was we had Warriors at 8. Did we
Yeah.
not? I think we had a 3v1 on that.
We
so it
we
is
started the
Warriors 8.
conversation saying three of us were for Warriors, and then we argued that for no reason.
Well, that's fair. I mean, I do the same thing, so I don't blame them. But I think Lakers at 7 is a reasonable spot.
Don't say I didn't warn you. But at 6, I think this is the Wolves' territory right here at 6. They got a little farther
Yeah.
Yeah.
than everyone expected. But so we're moving on to 5 because both y'all shook your head and said yes.
Yeah, so they finished the same spot as last year.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm cool with Timberwolves at 6.
Clippers 5? Question mark. Say it.
Man,
Go ahead.
I was just like, I was in between them or the Mavericks, but I think it has to be the Mavericks. I want to say it's the Clippers, but I really do think it's the Mavericks just because they're gonna start. I think they're gonna start off the season really slow. I think it's gonna take them a little bit to get everything together. They're not gonna have Kyrie, and then we don't know how healthy AD is gonna be throughout the season. I think Cooper Flag is gonna have games where he's up and down through the first couple weeks of the season, and then he'll get used to the league and everything after like a month or 2 months. I don't know. I feel like they would fit good at 5th.
Yeah, what I said in the Bingo Square episode doesn't count for here because all of that was like hot takes. All right. So when I actually ranked the Clippers, I still honestly don't love them, but that's my own personal opinions. I think we should put them at 5. I'm fine with what Kevin said.
I know that's the same thing too. I don't love them either. I don't know.
You like them a little bit more than us.
I think the Clippers are comfortably 5 because we have no idea how Beal is going to look. We also don't know how James Harden is going to look for a majority of the season. And we know one thing is for sure. Kawhi will be hurt at some point. But with Zubac's taking his step, now you have Chris Paul off the bench. I understand he's 40, but that's a very solid player still, especially off the bench. You acquire Brook Lopez. He's getting up there in age, but he's still a premier rim defender, or rim protector. And who knows? He could bounce back, and he could have a good shooting season. I know last season was very spotty compared to his previous. Like, the identity is still here. You go off and sign John Collins. You get that exact piece you need. Like, They're solid.
They're
There's just too
they're going to
many
be very
ifs.
solid.
There's just too many.
They're very
ifs.
solid.
Yeah.
But is there ifs?
Yes, there's a list of them. He just said all of them.
Yeah, I
he
just
just
said,
said
like,
6
5.
without thinking about it. He just said 5 without even thinking about it. But
I
like,
don't know. It went one ear out the other because I don't know if there's gonna be ifs.
dude, there's
Wait,
a lot.
where
Of
do
Where
you
do you
have-
rank
First
them?
off,
Where do you rank them?
this team's
Vic?
ancient.
I had them fourth.
So we all probably had Clippers and Mavericks 4 and 5. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So we all the same debate here. Good. I'm waiting for Daniel to come in. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding.
Clips
But
5.
like,
That's my vote.
my vote's Clips 5. Like I'm saying, the age is gonna hit this team at the end of the season, like
I know
like a sandal.
that's what I think as well, dude. They might be the oldest team in the league, right?
They are.
Yes. So 5th seed is good. Yeah.
Yeah, and we crapped on the Bucks a lot for being really old too. And
But-
who
I
else?
mean, not really. The Bucks were just trash.
And
No, I
that's
know.
incomparable.
No, it's got nothing to do with their age. They're horrible.
Yeah, that too. I'm just saying, like we would talk about their age a lot.
This team is insanely old. And I don't know. Like I said, Harden's a year older. Always looks pretty solid at the start of the season. Always looks very solid at the start of the playoffs. And then that's usually what happens. A year older, he could take a decline too. These next season or two of the NBA is going to be a wake-up call. And it's going to be really scary. A lot of these OGs and older guys are going to start slowing down a little bit. It's already happened to some.
Yeah. Clips 5. Clips 5. Daniel, what's your vote?
Oh, I thought you guys heard. No, Clips 5 for sure for me. Yeah.
All right. So it's settled. Clips 5.
Does that mean the Mavericks are 4th then? Since we all just debated the same thing. Yeah.
Mavs 4.
Which we've talked about it before too. Like, I think this team's gonna be pretty dang good,
Yeah. This is
The
the
Mavericks.
GMLB like heater pick right here.
dude. I think Christie's gonna have a very solid year. He looked so good on Dallas last year, and he said in an interview too, like, I'm so glad I'm on Dallas. Like, he's definitely happy to be there. It just, I've said it a million times. And I apologize. It's annoying. We just cannot have another scenario like last year where they were supposedly holding open tryouts.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's
Oh, dude, I forgot.
That,
It really
that might be
comes
the
down-
Clippers this year.
it comes down to Kyrie Irving.
Really does.
If he can return and be 85% of himself, 4 seed, they get slot. I mean, the Lively's got to take a step. The Lively, Gafford, Anthony Davis rotation. We talked to Hoop Venue about it. It's one of the greatest front courts we've seen in decades. I mean, you have Najee Marshall, a great 3-and-D player entering his prime. Klay Thompson is still providing high-level shooting, a 40% three-point shooter. PJ Washington, 3-and-D, like one of the highest, not highest, one of the most talented 3-and-D players, like in that role specifically. You have PJ Washington. D'Angelo Russell, we've talked about. D'Angelo Russell is D'Angelo Russell, okay? Someone's got to shoot the ball at some point when Kyrie's out.
It'll be him.
It will be him.
He'll shoot it.
Like, I don't think it's a great thing, but it's not as bad as people say. And then of course you pile on Max Christie, like you said, Kevin, young guy, 3-and-D role again, great shooter, great defender, and the number 1 draft pick for a quote unquote generational talent in Cooper Flagg, who's already played Team USA basketball with and against Team USA. So it's like, I think the team's ready to still be good without Kyrie, but if they're going to contend, it's going to come down to him actually coming back.
Yeah. If they want to make the finals, they're going to need Kyrie. If he's not there, it's not going to happen. In short, this team's damn good.
They got all
So
the
everyone's
pieces.
Yeah.
everyone's kind of in consensus with them at 4. For my 3rd team, I kind of broke my heart to say this because I was really big on them. I'd probably go Denver here at 3rd. Obviously, I have Houston at 2. I think they'll be within like 2 to 4 games of each other. They just made so many improvements this year. Rockets were incredible during the regular season last year. I do think they'll be pretty solid this year. I don't have Houston going as far as Denver in the playoffs, but I do have them finishing just slightly better.
Are we like 100% sure OKC is number 1 here?
Yes.
Yeah, they're running everything back.
Yes.
No championship high?
No.
Nothing like that?
This team, they didn't even celebrate the championship. No one drank. And they had Michelob Ultras. It's like the easiest thing to drink. It's like they won 68 games. Hoop Venue said this right on the head. 68 games, like with half the team missing half the season, and they're getting better. So like, this team can win 70 games this next season. I'm kind of like anticipating them to. They are the 1 seed. I will not let you sheep sit here and put Houston or Denver at the 1. This team is the 1 seed.
I said they're 1 too.
No,
I
yeah.
don't want you getting convinced.
I hate to, like, I don't want to compare the Celtics to the Thunder, but this just feels like they're gonna be like a very dominant championship team going into next season again.
It's almost
Go ahead.
It's almost like we saw a championship team who was the most dominant team in the league run it back, and it was not nearly the same thing. And it's not necessarily about the Thunder taking a step back. It's about every other team taking the step forward to compete.
But they're taking a step forward too.
How?
Which is
Just development?
senile. This team is just straight up development. Like you said, you made a video on your boy Topic. He could find some minutes this year, and still had a pretty decent draft pick. Like, this team is just so young, and what they did is just incredible. Like Chet hasn't even played a full season yet of NBA hoops. He probably won't ever. I don't even think he needs to, because the rest of the team is just so damn good.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess we're between 2 and 3 then. So what makes Denver 3 and not Houston?
I actually think Denver. I actually like Denver at 2, simply because Houston has KD, and I think at some point during this long season, the train tracks will run out. The train's gonna go off a cliff, maybe. But that also, I just think Denver wants it more. I think it's owed to them in a way. Like they're gonna be on a run this year. I'm kind of really high on them. Higher than Thunder, no, but
You're owed nothing here. We earn things. And KD's played with Udoka. I feel like those two are like. I feel like a lot of people are anticipating KD and Ime to bump heads. I don't think that's going to happen at all.
He's mentioned in interviews about how much like respect he has for him. I think, or it was on a podcast. I can't remember which one it was, but he does talk highly of Ime. I'm torn because my original rankings was Houston at 3, but I could go with them at 2. I could see both sides. I don't know. Nobody's argued Denver yet. I mean, they did get a hell of a lot better. They added Cam Johnson, fixed getting rid of MPJ, who was making poor choices for them and just not playing the same way he has been. And then you add Bruce Brown back. They get a backup center for Jokic, who's probably the best backup center he's had in his career. It's just tough not to. It's just tough not to put them not at 2.
It is tough. I wanted to put them at 2. Like, I think on my own list I did even put them at 2, but I thought about it a little bit more. Like, it's gonna be close. It's not gonna be more than 4-game difference. It's gonna be between 2 to 4 games. But I do see Denver going farther. But Houston is gonna finish better.
It's the coaching. It's the coaching that it's hard for me to put Denver ahead of the Rockets without Mike Malone in the front seat steering the ship. I have no idea what to think of David Adelman. No idea.
I don't know, David Adelman. He got them to 7 with OKC. Quite impressive.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and I don't mean to steer the conversation off track, but look who's on Denver's roster.
No way. He made the league.
Tamar Bates, former Indiana University legend.
They're 2. They're 100% 2.
You said what? Oh,
I said
yeah.
they're
Oh,
100% the 2
they're
seed.
number 2. Yeah, they're the number 2 seed.
Yeah.
I think that sold it for me.
Easily.
Can we just
That's
put them
actually
number
so
2
funny.
for that reason? Can we just...
Yes. Denver 2,
All right.
Houston 3, OKC
All right.
1. Let's do it. It's what my heart wanted to do, but I decided to use my mid-sized brain for once, and it got ahead of me. It got the best of me. That's not who I am.
All right, the pen is going down to the card to make the to put it in writing.
Go quicker.
All opposition,
I'm sure.
speak your piece. All right. Nuggets
Put the Lakers
two.
at 9. I got it.
Nuggets 2, Rockets 3, OKC 1, GMLB family. Here is your final GMLB predicted Western Conference seeding for the end of next season. Number 15, Jazz. 14, Pelicans. 13, Blazers. 12, Kings. 11, Suns. We enter the play-in with number 10, Grizzlies. 9, Spurs. 8, Warriors. 7, Lakers. Then we enter the playoff race on the other side of the play-in. That is number 6, Timberwolves. 5, Clippers. 4, Mavericks. 3, Rockets. 2, Nuggets. 1, Oklahoma City Thunder. We should have finished this off with a championship prediction. Like who would come out of each conference. That would have probably been a good idea.
That's next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's next week.
That's next week. You know what's incredible? We debated the 13th seed more than the top 3 seeds. Is that not the most GMLB thing ever?
I feel like once
It
we
is.
got to like the 6th seed, we really didn't talk that much about it. We were just kind of like, yeah,
We're all
that
in
makes
agreement.
sense.
It all made sense.
Yeah, it just kind of fell into
did.
place.
I feel like, personally, we cooked with both of our predictions for the East and the West.
Yeah, we will see. Only time will tell, but we should revisit them like 5 games into the season when it makes complete sense. Just like we do every year and be like, see? See?
When the Grizzlies are 5-0.
Yeah.
And the Suns last year were like, well, they started off undefeated too, and we're at the top of the conference.
I think they're like 12-0. No, they're like
You're like,
8-0. And I was
"See?"
like, oh my God.
But yeah,
I hope the Trailblazers finish like 6, just for the sake of this video.
the Trailblazers finished 6.
I can't wait till the Lakers fall out the play-in.
All right, well, GMLB family. That's going to do it for us here. You now have our Eastern Conference from last episode. If you're interested, check that out. Our Eastern Conference rankings and our Western Conference rankings from this episode for next season. We'll revisit them at some point during the season, or probably for sure at the end of the season. If you want to check out our bingo card for next season made of NBA hot takes, where we drop hot takes and see if we can get a bingo by the end of next season, you can check that podcast out. It was a couple episodes ago as well, as we continue on with our preseason prediction podcast. So, with that being said, GMLB family, we thank you all for making it this far into the pod. If you want to watch the full podcast, we are on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and YouTube. If you want to watch our short form and interactive content, we are on YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram Reels, and TikTok. And yeah, not much more to be said. GMLB family, we're heading out of here. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.